I just like, I'm like paranoid. I want to make sure, man. I want to make sure anyone that hasn't played it, that's going to have any chance to play it, is not watching. I'm actively telling those people to leave my stream. Alright, so here's kind of your introduction to a boss fight in this game. So this is it gives you different music, so it indicates like, okay, actual bosses of characters that you're fighting are gonna have their own themes that you fight within here. And it's also kind of a safe boss fight because you can't actually kill Napster. This ghost keeps saying Z out loud repeatedly, pretending to sleep. And then you also have this question here. So the move it with force. If you're trying to be super pacifistic, you will often say no the first time, and then eventually figure out, okay, you do have to move it with force. So there's a little light indicator here that, you know, sometimes you may have to use force. This force may not necessarily result in actual violence or actual killing of things, but so if you fight him, he eventually is like, hey, ghosts are incorporeal. I was just lowering my HP to make you feel better. And then he gives you -1 experience point, not 1 EXP. It doesn't actually affect your EXP, it's just flavor, because nowhere else in the game is the term experience point actually used. And then, of course, this is also a further introduction to gameplay interacting with narrative, where the attack is literally him crying at you. We see this very, very often throughout the game, and it's generally very well done. I call it Dabberblook. Do you like it? Napster Blook eagerly awaits a response. Give Napster Blook a cruel look. I knew it. Okay, same response as if you threaten him. You try to console Napster Blook. Oh, and then we got a bigger tier stream here. Yeah, so if you break up Dapper Blook, you have to finish the fight with violence, it looks like. Oh, and talking about Napster Blook's name, so it's got Napster in it, and he's into music, so referencing old music, or the original kind of music sharing software and stuff there, Napster. His name is also Naps to Block. He is napping to block your path. People also see Nap Stab Look, but I don't really see that as meaningful myself, but could be. Oh, it's his tears of, yeah, okay. You can totally console him. He's going back to normal now. Oh, I didn't actually know X moves slower. Did not actually know that holding down X makes you move slower. The faint odor of ectoplasm permeates the vicinity. You cannot give up just yet. Hobo, stay determined. So, the only times that you're actually referred to as Hobo are when Asgore's talking to the game over screen, player, character, whatever you want to say, is in the game over screen, and when Flowey's talking to you. I want to buy a lot of spider goods here. Lots and lots of spider goods. Just buy a lot of spider cider with all of this money that mysteriously appeared inside our inventory. I don't actually know like anything about what cutoff points here are or anything like that, so we're just gonna buy a bunch. A lot of spider stuff. Gonna make sure the spiders are very well funded. Okay, so note that there's only 2 frogs visible. So the reason we only see these 2 froggets instead of 3 froggets is because we've already demonstrated that we know how to skip text, so the Frogget's not there to tell us to skip text. So here's the other Frogget that tells you the other way. So monsters wear yellow names when you can spare them. Some people have figured that out at this point. I guess most have, but not all have, so this is useful information if they haven't. And then, of course, you have this fun option. It's bad. Quite merciful, and that's bad. It's bad that monsters have yellow names. Tell all of my friends to tell their friends' friends never use yellow names. How about that? No, no more yellow names. Yes. Okay, so we ditched the yellow names. So notice the spare button's white here. Still gotta spare that. Get our little dancing cockroach fella. Oh, he actually does 3 damage if you run into him. It's a lot. How are you doing without yellow names? It's great! Glad to hear it. Though, I do not know why you dislike yellow. You had better hope you do not encounter a banana-themed monster. So I've never actually seen that text before, because we've always brought the names back, and they become pink when we bring the names back. But we're getting rid of the yellow names entirely this time. I don't know what we would do if we encountered a banana-themed monster, man. That's pretty rough. Okay, watch the left side of the screen. It's brief, but there's appearance number 2 of our friend that is stalking us. So this one's also a little bit interesting. So you check the sign as you enter the room. There's just one switch. So you fall down one of the holes, take your pick, and you see, okay, there's the switch over there. I know I only need to hit the one switch, so I could go there. So this is actually kind of interesting because it also kind of encourages you to not just listen to what the game is telling you a little bit and kind of explore more on your own. Because you fall down here, if you move down a little bit, you'll see Napstablook hanging down there. Like, oh yeah, okay, I want to fall down there and talk to Blookie a bit there. Yeah, the switch is positioned so you can see it no matter what hole you fall down. But if you opt to explore further, this ribbon here you actually, I think, only see if you fall down this hole. Actually, let me see if you fall down the top one and look down all the way. But that ribbon's actually kind of hard to see. Yeah, you can't see the ribbon from anywhere but the bottom left hole. So it simultaneously is like, hey, here's a tip for avoiding tedium, and hey, here's your reward for being explorative. So this is your first, like, real puzzle. Well, no, I guess the leave one with the breakaway floors, that's the first real puzzle. Here's your second real puzzle. If people are not quite understanding the perspective thing, they'll see this. Okay, press the blue switch. A lot of people walk up to the previous room and flip that blue switch to no effect. We're going to press the switch. Nothing happened, 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 nothing happened. You're making the switches uncomfortable with all of this attention. Then they'll potentially give up and hit the switches in this room, which will just drop them down. So if you hit those 2 switches and fall down and then enter this room again, walk right here, the game helps, like, okay, if you haven't solved the puzzle by now, it's like, oh, okay, there's a switch hidden behind the pillar up here. Now you know how to proceed. Okay, looks. I'm gonna pick on looks a lot. Called me a rude little twit, so why wouldn't I keep picking on him? Obviously, he deserves it. Looks is watering. It actually took me kind of shockingly long to realize the obvious pun of looks here. So we got 22 XP because we picked on him a lot. where if we hadn't picked on him, we would have gotten less XP. So Toriel has a way to go get groceries. Like, oh, there is still a town in the ruins, I think is the idea there. Oh, how hurt am I? Yeah, let's do that, actually. So this is another cool thing if for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Oh dear, that took longer than I thought it would. How did you get here, my child? Are you hurt?
Great Toriel face right here.
Who did this to you? You will get an apology.
So if you're hurt enough, you get this text instead. So your standard text is like, "They're there, I'll heal you." If you're full health, she'll say,
"Not a scratch, but still,"
or something along those lines. And if you're extremely hurt, you get this text. So there's a lot of situations like this where like there's one bit of text that seems like it fits everything the first time you see it, and like that's what you see most of the time, and then you think, okay, maybe if you do it a little differently, there's a second bit of text, and there is. And then it's like, oh wait, there's actually a third bit of text. What the hell? Just like with the dummy, just like with the dummy, where you think, okay, well, you could be pacifist or aggressive to the dummy. Oh wait, you can talk to it, you can run away, or you can fight it. Oh wait, there's a fourth way. You can also just stare at it long enough, and Toriel gives you a crazy look, and there's a fourth way. So much madness. But the best thing, like this sprite is named Toriel Revenge Talk. Start getting a little endeared, gives a nice little head pat. So generally speaking, like the visuals in this game are, if you were going to say something's weak about this game, you could say the graphics are on the weaker side. They're not bad by any means, but they're not like super impressive. But they still manage to use what they have very, very skillfully and well. You'll see a lot of emotion and emphasis conveyed in the little character faces, and the little simple animations can still have so much impact and power. And you'll notice there's a few points in the game where they talk about things being dusty. So there's some spots where I don't think it's relevant, and some spots where I do think it's relevant, and this one's kind of in between. I'm not confident it is relevant that this photo frame is dusty, but it might be. Basically, if it is relevant, we're saying that this photo was symbolizing one of Azrael's favorite things, and thus his dust was spread on top of this photo, along with his toys and the golden flowers. Because a monster, of course, turns to dust when it dies. So this is something, I mean, like, a lot of people see this, but I specifically like, this is your first, like, major hint. Oh, sorry, not this one. Dang it. This one. Yep. Too fast. Right there. This is your first major hint. It's subtle, and, like, arguably not even that important, but it's an old calendar from the beginning of 21X. It's an old calendar from 21X. So here's another implication that she's been here for at least a relevantly significant amount of time. Like, these are the books she took with her from the castle when she fled to the ruins, and the books are very worn. They've read many, many times. What year is it in the ruins? Yeah, that's an interesting question, too. Like, of course, implication from the title is that it's the year 21X currently. But, it is, story-wise, implied to be some amount relevantly later than the year 21X. And of course, you've got the kid shoes and a disparity of sizes. This is one other thing that some people kind of read as a reason to distrust Toriel. They're like, why she got all these different kid shoes? Where are the other kids? This is freaking me out, sort of thing. Yes, that's another thing, Baylor. Toriel laughs like it's the best joke she's heard in 100 years, and like specifically, I think Sans is looking to the side when he says that. Like that usually means there's more truth to his statement than there appears at first blush. Yeah, Brady and Kathy specifically mention millennia, but Brady and Catty are also not necessarily the most trustworthy of sources. So it's hard to really say if it's like the year 3000 plus or what exactly, but just love Cheriel. Specifically just because this is probably the most commonly overlooked thing in this room. You peek inside. Scandalous! It's Toriel's sock drawer. You can't stop looking at the socks. A lot of people don't check this a second time, but that line's a lot of fun too. You haven't seen this, Baylor? Nice. I told you you'd see stuff you haven't seen before. Let's see. Not really a whole lot to hit here. Other than, of course, this is all set up perfectly for references later. Where you see, again, you see the fur stuck in the grain. You again see that they use fire magic. And this is also another thing. The fire here is created through Toriel's fire magic. So when Toriel dies, this fire also goes out. So many little details like that. How many uses are there for snails? There's like 4 or 5, I'm afraid. It's not 72. It's a random between, I think, 4 is how many snail facts they can give. So this little section is kind of set up where the first bit of text when you're talking to her, you're like, whoa, hold on, what the hell are you doing? And then the next bit of text, it's like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Most people will still be like, okay, well, I still have to proceed forward, though. I still have to go forward. Some will be like, wow, I kind of just want to stay here. Then, like, she's got a good reason, sort of thing.
Every human that falls down here meets the same fate. I've seen it again and again. They come. They leave. They die. You naive child, if you leave the ruins, they, Asgore, will kill you. I am only protecting you. Do you understand? Go to your room.
Final warning. Yeah. And a lot of people know about this, but this is quick, so we'll just do this real quick. If you do actually go back... Twinge, please, wake up. You are the future of humans and monsters. Jackal Power, yes, that is Asgore. Not trying to lure you to get killed. It's basically a memory of Asgore talking to the first fallen human, Jackal. That's what you see in the game over screen. Is effectively a memory, which is still linked because you are using the same corpse, the same body, the same soul, the same determination. Well, not the same determination, perhaps. You'll also note that this text is exactly the same text Flowey uses with coy eyes if you do a neutral run that you've killed anything in and spare Flowey, and he tells you to go back and not kill anyone, and he says, prove to me you're strong enough to survive. There's a lot of spots in this game where they reuse text to really solid impact like that if you pay enough attention. So one fun thing is that you can also trigger a spare effect by doing this. But this is faster. Let's see, so other thoughts about Toriel fight. So yeah, the default thing that will happen if you're playing this game completely blindly, is you'll end up being like, okay, I guess I have to fight her, and start fighting her a little bit, probably thinking I'll get her a little weak, and then maybe she'll be like, okay, or she won't. You don't think she'll die anyway. Most people do not think fighting her will kill her. This can be for a couple different reasons. They can be thinking along what I was thinking, like the first frog, it tells you that if you get people weak enough, then maybe they don't want to fight anymore, and you can talk to them or spare them from there. That's what I was thinking, and definitely what some other people think. Some people just think it's like, okay, you'll knock her health all the way down, and then she'll be like, oh, you were strong, and she'll be alive, and it'll be fine. And I've definitely seen people that have just have slain her, and then like only started realizing as she starts talking, it's like, wait, did I just kill her? I didn't. That's not what I wanted. But yeah, standard is that you'll. And another thing to note here is that it's interesting too that you see how little damage you do on that first hit too. It's like, man, and if you check her stats, 80 attack, 80 defense, it looks like you can't even fight her. But it's what still ends up usually happening is people decide, okay, I guess I do have to fight her. And it's also interesting that you kind of have this warning that she doesn't want to fight you if you are worse at these kind of games, like dodging stuff. Whereas if you are like if you're just playing to win and stuff, generally, or like good at dodging, you'll be using your items, healing up here, and not even noticing the fact that she is not actually trying to kill you here when you get health low enough. So it's kind of interesting how that works out. It's kind of an interesting dynamic in a lot of ways. But I do like the whole not killing you thing at low health, because that's one further hint that like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be fighting her. Maybe there's another way through this. But most people do not really notice this fully. Some do. It's not completely lost, but most people, like, she's getting close to low health at this point, and then they're just like used to. It's like, huh, that attack was easy, is kind of their thought more than she's not trying to fight me. And you do more damage for like that one attack there, so there's some indication you might be doing more damage. Like, but even if you look at that, you will think at this point that you can hit her at least one more time before bringing her all the way down in hell. Yes, the fact she does not want to kill you here, once again, is a nice combination of the narrative merging with the game mechanics here, where the actual attacks people are using on you change to show their emotion, to show the characters behaving the way they are. And there's also a huge number of ways the overarching theme of determination kind of comes into play in this game. And this is, I mean, you could even argue some spots earlier, but this is one of the first spots it really does. To actually spare Toriel, you need the determination to keep hitting that spare button non-stop until you finally get there. Yeah, Toriel didn't try to stop the other humans, is definitely kind of an implication. Because right now she's deciding she's going to destroy the exit. She's trying to destroy the exit now. It's like, okay, no, I can't. If the human leaves again, Edward's plan's gonna succeed. I need to stop this now. Other humans have left the ruins, and yeah, it has not ended well. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here, I think, is we're going to spare her, talk to Flowey, reset, and kill her. I wanna see if Flowey has anything to say if you do it backwards.
I know you want to go home, but please, go upstairs now.
Notably, they actually remove your option to flee and go upstairs here because they don't want you to try it, because they're like, no, let's not do that. Keep the pacing and kind of the emotion of the scene going. That I'm personally breaking by talking about it, I suppose, but
I promise I will take good care of you here. I know we do not have much, but we can have a good life here. Why are you making this so difficult? Please, go upstairs. Pathetic, is it not? I cannot save even a single child. No, I understand. You would just be unhappy trapped down here. The ruins are very small once you get used to them. It would not be right for you to grow up in a place like this. My expectations, my loneliness, my fear. For you, my child, I will set them aside.
I'll put them aside. Close enough.
However, when you leave, please do not come back. I hope you understand.
Remember when I was talking about how powerful just that simple little animation can be? Right there is the first really strong example, I think. That hug is really strong, especially if if this is like a second playthrough and you've already killed her before. It's powerful. This one's not new to those that have caught some of our previous playthroughs, but it's uncommon enough, and we can get to our destination quickly enough with our little speed hacks here. Does this look familiar to people who have seen maybe something else, but not this one?
Do not worry about me. Someone has to take care of these flowers.
So that's a fun little thing. You can actually go back and chat with Toriel, and she says certain appropriate dialogue there. There's kind of an amazing number of like callbacks like that in the game. And so here's also an important thing right here is you've got kind of this long walk up here that again, most of people's first experiences here will have accidentally killed Toriel at this point. Most people won't be thinking about resetting their game either. So they just kind of have this long walk, no music, kind of just setting the tone of what just happened. And then you meet an old friend. I bet you feel really great. You didn't kill anybody this time. I am the prince of this world's future. Don't worry, my little monarch. My plan isn't regicide. But this is so much more interesting. Does creepy ass face there, and back into the ground. You are the royalty in that case, Slug. He's saying that you are the king of this world and he's the prince, because with you here, Flowey can no longer use his save file. He can no longer use his save point and restore the world around him, because you are now the one controlling it more than he is. And that's interesting to him. That's something he hasn't seen before. So it's like, okay, you're kind of playing by your own rules. This is something I can't predict. I've been down here. I've already seen basically everything there is to see. I've killed everyone. I've saved everyone. I've read every book. I've burned every book. Like he's bored as hell and he can't feel. So the reason Flowey assaults you in the first place is because he's like, okay, I found something here. Maybe I can kill them. Maybe I can take their soul. Maybe I can feel again. And it's like, okay, well, no, that didn't work out. Toriel saved him and all that. And then sees him later. It's like, okay, well, this is interesting. We got this human here. This is new. It's playing by its own rules. It kind of reminds me of someone. I can't predict this. This is something new. It's interesting. So that's kind of where Flowey's at this point in the game. So yeah, this text is actually really powerful too with Toriel here.
Listen to me, small one. If you go beyond this door, keep walking as far as you can. Eventually, you will reach an exit.
Notice the shaky text here too. Another like low budget but very powerful way to kind of convey emotion of the characters and power.
Asgore. Do not let Asgore take your soul. His plan cannot be allowed to succeed.
Getting super shaky, and then her face is going down.
Be good, won't you? My child?
This pause here. Pause briefly on the black screen. Silence. Notorial. Again, just really, really well crafted experience there. And like so it's interesting how that has progressed for me over time. Like the first time I did that in the neutral run, I was more feeling like I was still like not like that sold on this game at that point, and I'm kind of thinking like I'm feeling a little robbed because the game kind of tricked me to killing her. So that scene wasn't nearly as powerful for me then. But then after playing back through, completing a pacifist run, the first time I like watched someone else kill Toriel and go through that scene, it's like, oh god, no. I was definitely tearing up in that scene. The only reason I'm not now is just because I've seen it so many times at this point. Indeed, Baylor. Okay, so yeah, Flowey is still here. Let's see what he says here. I knew he'd have something else to say, but I've never seen this before. Wow, you're utterly repulsive. You spared her life. Then you decided that just wasn't interesting enough for you. So you murdered her just to see what would happen. You killed her out of boredom. You naive idiot. Do you think you are the only one with that power? The power to reshape the world? Purely by your own determination? The ability to play God? The ability to save? I thought I was the only one with that power, but I can't save anymore. Apparently, your desires for this world override mine. Well, well. Enjoy that power while you can. I'll be watching. Get okay. I was checking if we could do the little ball trick here, but alas, no.